Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 7th of Indus Valley Public School Rat, where we were doing lesson number 5 from your honeycomb book, and the name of the lesson is Quality, written by John Galsworthy. In this lesson, we have studied about Mr. Gessler, who belongs to Germany, and he was very good bootmaker. The author was highly impressed by him. He used to give order only to Mr. Gessler. So once by all of a sudden you can say the author was wearing shoes made by him, and it was giving a creaking sound. So it was like he was not able to understand why it is happening. So he went to Mr. Gessler and he asked, and he told the problem. Mr. Gessler was surprised to know how it can happen, but he said, okay fine, I will check it out. If any problem, I will adjust the bill and I will not charge, I will refund the amount. But once what happened, once the author was in hurry, so he purchased the shoes from other shop. So by looking at that booth, Mr. Gessler immediately identified and said, this is not my boot. And he immediately also noticed that shoes were having some problem on a particular point, and he pointed out that point and told the author that you might be having some problem on this particular point. So what he said, okay fine. Then Mr. Gessler was not having any likeness for the big firms. He was very much opposite for the big firms, and he used to criticize them. According to Mr. Gessler, they never used to make good quality of boots. They are on their highest point because of their advertisement. कहने का मतलब ये है मिस्टर गेस्लर के हिसाब से, जो बड़ी बड़ी फर्म्स होती हैं वो अच्छे मटेरियल प्रोवाइड नहीं करती हैं, वो सिर्फ अपने प्रमोशन एडवर्टीजमेंट की वजह से सक्सेसफुल होती हैं. सो नाउ चिल्ड्रन, कमिंग टू द लेसन. They get it all, he said. So here he said he is Mr. Gessler, and he is saying that कि they get it all, मतलब they is big firm. They get it by advertisement, not by work. So now he is saying that these big firms, they used to achieve their success, achieve their customer by only advertisement, not by the work. They take it away from us who love our boots. And he is saying that they take it away from us means he is saying that these big firms used to take away their customers. उनके customers को ले लेते जो कि उन्हें पसंद करते हैं उनके हाथ के बनाए हुए boots. किसके? मिस्टर गेस्लर के. It comes to this presently I have no work. And now he is saying by doing all this thing, by the activities of this big firm, I am not having any kind of work. Every year it gets less. So he is saying now day by day, year by year, I am getting less customers. My customers are moving towards these big firms. You will see. And looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before. So now author is saying that by looking towards Mr. Gessler and his talk, he was noticing something which he never noticed in Mr. Gessler. Bitter things and bitter struggle, and what are lots of grey hairs there seem suddenly in his red beard. So what he has noticed? He has noticed the bitterness for big firm. Whose bitterness? Mr. Gessler's bitterness, and Mr. Gessler's bitterness towards his work, towards his struggle, and author also noticed the grey hairs in the beard of Mr. Gessler. As best I could, I explained the circumstance of those ill-omened boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. So now what happened? When I was looking at him, and ill-omened boots मीन्स एक होते हैं ना अपशगुन वाले जो बूट्स होते हैं, that way. So he is saying that I have explained the circumstance because I was wearing that shoes which I have purchased from other shop, not from Mr. Gessler. So that boots with something, और उस boots की वजह से Mr. Gessler ने काफ़ी कुछ बताया, काफ़ी कुछ दिखाया जो कि आज तक ऑथर ने कभी नहीं देखा था Mr. Gessler की तरफ से. So Mr. Author considered that boots as a unlucky, or you can say ill-omened boots. But his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes, so the way Mr. Gessler spoke to the author, that left a depression, or you can say that left a remark on author's heart. मतलब ऑर्डर को उसके ऊपर पिटी फील होने लगा, उसके ऊपर दया आने लगी. एंड वॉट ही डिड इन ऑर्डर टू हेल्प आउट मिस्टर गेस्लर, ही ऑर्डर्ड मैनी पेयर्स ऑफ शूज़. उसने कई पेयर्स वहाँ पे ऑर्डर कर दिए. किसको? मिस्टर गेस्लर को. And other that boots were left with Mr. Gessler for longer time, as author was not able to pick them for 2 years. उसने 2 साल तक वो बूट्स नहीं उठा पाए थे मिस्टर गेस्लर के यहाँ से. Next, it was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time it appears to be his elder brother handling a piece of leather. So now author is saying I am now visiting his shop after many years. after many months. मैंने कई महीनों पहले उसकी शॉप्स अटेंड की थी, अब मैं काफ़ी टाइम बाद उसकी अटेंड कर रहा हूँ. एंड आई फील लाइक दिस टाइम हिज एल्डर ब्रदर इज़ इन फ्रंट ऑफ माई आइज. सो दिस इज़ द फीलिंग ऑफ मिस्टर ऑथर. He is feeling that he is not Mr. Gessler, his elder brother is in front of his eyes. Well, Mr. Gessler, I said, how are you? So even though he was not sure whether he is Mr. Gessler or his elder brother, but I wished Mr. Gessler and I asked, how are you? He came close and peered at me. I am pretty well, he said slowly, but my elder brother is dead. So now Mr. Gessler came near to the author and said, I'm fine, I'm pretty good, but my elder brother is no more, he is dead. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and wan. And never before had I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, oh, I'm sorry. So what happened? Your author is saying that I looked at him properly and I make it out, yes, it is he is Mr. Gessler. And for the first time I heard that Mr. Gessler is talking about his brother, and he never used to talk about his brother. And I wasn't shocked, and slowly I said, okay, I'm sorry for discussing the matter. Yes, he answered, he was a good man. He made a good boot. So now Mr. Gessler is saying, yes, he was a good man. He here refers to his elder brother, and he said, yeah, he was a very good man and he used to make very good boots. But he is dead. And he touched the top of his head, where the hair had suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Do you want any boot? So now after saying that he is very good, he made very good boots. So Mr. Gessler, after speaking all this thing, he just put his hand over his head where all the hairs have gone, and all his looks appear to be very elderly people. And in order to show the shock, or in order to show the sadness of his brother's death, so he was sitting in like that way. Now after all this thing, Mr. Gessler is asking author, do you want any more pairs of boots? And he held up the leather in his hand. It's a beautiful piece, and the leather piece which he was holding in his hand, he showed to me, and he said, yeah, this is very good quality of leather, and do you want to have any more pairs of boots? So I will make for you. Who said this thing? Mr. Gessler. He said to Mr. Author. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. One simply could not wear them out. And soon after that I went abroad. So I said, I've already ordered many pairs long back, and all that boots were very nice and they gave very nice fitting, but मैं उन्हें ले नहीं पाया because I went to abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London. So now he is saying that it's more than 1 year when I was in London, and the first shop I went to was my old friend's. So now he is saying the shop which I went there, it was my old friend's shop. I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and warm, so genuinely this time, did not at first know me. So now he is saying that I left a man whose age was 60. Now I'm seeing a person in front of my house whose age is 75. So I was not believing all these things, so I pinched myself in order to prove that I'm not dreaming, it's all correct things. Do you want any boots? He said. I can make them quickly. It is a exact time. So now he is saying that, do you want more boots? Now he is asking me, ki, do you want any more boots? He said. So now Mr. Gessler is asking, if you want many boots, then I can make for you, and I will make very quickly, because it is very less time is there, very slack time is there. I answered, please, please, I want boots all around, every kind. So now I said, okay, you can make it, because I want different kinds of boots and it should be kept around me. I had given those boots up when one evening they came. One by one I tried them on. In shape and fit, I finish and quality of leather, they were the best he had ever made. I flew downstairs, wrote a check, and posted it at once with my own hand. So now he is saying, whatever the boots were made by Mr. Gessler and his brother, they were really very good, and I have tried it. I was flung, I tried, I climbed, I flung on that shoes, but everything, it was very nice. So I immediately signed the check and posted towards Mr. Gessler from my own hand. A week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in and tell him how splendidly the new boot fitted. But when I came to where his shop had been, his name was gone. So now he is saying that when I was passing through the lane where Mr. Gessler's shop was used to be, so he just thought of meeting Mr. Gessler. So he went inside the shop. He just went into that lane, but he was not able to find Mr. Gessler's shop. It was vanished. It was gone from there. Splendidly means hota hai you're wonderfully. Okay. I went in very much disturbed. In the shop, there was a young man with an English face. So in that shop where Mr. Gessler's shop used to be there, so his shop was not there, but one American, or you can say British man, was there. Mr. Gessler in, I said. Then I asked, is Mr. Gessler inside? No, sir, he said, no, but we can attend to anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. So that fellow said, no, Mr. Gessler is not there, and we have taken the shop. We will be happy to serve you. If you have anything, please ask me. We will be happily serving you. Yes, I said, but Mr. Gessler. Then the author said, yes, you can do it, but where is Mr. Gessler? He was worried about Mr. Gessler. Oh, he answered, dead. So now that fellow, the Englishman, said, oh, he is dead. Who? Mr. Gessler. Dead? But I only received these boots from him last Wednesday week. So now the author is saying that how can possibly he is dead, because last week on Wednesday I have purchased these boots from him. Ah, he said, poor old man starved himself. Now the Englishman is saying that poor man died because of hunger, slow starvation, the doctor called it. The doctor is also saying that धीरे धीरे भूख के कारण वो मृत्यु हो गई उसकी. You see, he went to work in such a way, would keep the shop on, wouldn't have a soul touch his boot except himself. When he got an order, it took him such a time. So now that the Englishman is saying, see how this fellow died because of starvation, because whenever he get order, then only he is going to make the boots. He will not allow us any other to touch the boot. He himself will make the boot, and he used to take very longer time to complete them. People won't wait. He lost everybody. Then that Englishman is saying, people will not wait so longer in order to have the boots, and they will immediately move to other shops because these people are having the options. I will say that for him, not a man in London made a better boot. So now I means author is saying that I can say in whole London nobody can make as good as boots as good as Mr. Gessler. But look at the competition. He never advertised, would have the best leather too, and do it all himself. Well, there it is. What could you expect with his ideas? So now he is saying that this fellow never used to advertise anything, never used to look for the competitions, but he always used the good quality of leather, and he used to work, and he only expect the ideas and nothing more than that. Ideas for what? Ideas for making shoes. But starvation, that may be a bit flowery as the saying is, but I know myself he was sitting over his boots day and night to the very last CU I used to watch him. So now here author is saying that he is very good bootmaker. He used to sit long hours in order to complete his consignment. And to the very last, you see, I used to watch him, and the author is saying that I used to watch him how he used to make the shoes, how dedicatedly he used to make the boots. Never gave himself time to eat. Author is saying he did not have any time to eat. Every time he was in that land of boots making, and he used to work on that only. Never had a penny in the house. All went in rent and leather. And he means Mr. Gessler, he never used to have the money, he never used to have the food, he never used to eat, and nothing was there inside the home, only the leather. Whatever he was earning, he used to invest in the leather only. He regularly let his fire go out, and regularly fire go out means every time he used to skip his meals. He never used to have the meals. Really, he used to have it. He was a character, but he made good boots. So everybody is saying he was a very good character. He used to make very good boots. Yes, I said he made good boots, and the author also accepted it. So these lines, previous lines, like how he lived so long, I don't know. He regularly let his fire go out. He was a character, but he made good boots, is said by the English fellow. And again, after listening all this thing, author said, yes, I said he made a good boot. So author said, yes, he makes a good boot. So my dear children, this is here we are ending with the lesson, and now I'll give you the summary as well as the question answers of the lesson. So please complete all this work. Okay. So children, we have seen two characters, the storyteller, or you can say the author, and Mr. Gessler and Gessler brother were there in the story. And we have learned about the themes. That means first were dedication to quality work, tragedy, loyalty, and old age. Okay, dedication, how Mr. Gessler was making the shoes. Tragedy was that he, instead of making so good boots, he was not famous, he was not rich, he was not earning so much, and other firms that was advertising and their good is not of good quality, they were famous and they were earning a lot. Loyalty. Why loyalty? Because whatever the order Mr. Gessler used to take, he just complete that, and he was loyal towards his business. Old age here, what we are seeing that during his old age, nobody was standing with Mr. Gessler, and Mr. Gessler and his brother both were dead, and nobody was there to support them. Okay, these are the things that we have learned in the lesson. Now, the moral of this story is, to become a master of any skill, it takes the total efforts of your heart, mind, and soul working together in unison. So here it means that in order to become a master in particular activity, we need to dedicate ourselves by everything, whether it's your mind, whether it's your soul, whether it's money or anything. You have to devote, and then you can become a master of particular thing. Okay. Now coming towards the summary of the lesson. Quality, written by John Galsworthy in 1912, is about the German shoemaker Gessler brothers. The story starts with the description of the boot shop. On top was the nameplate Gessler brothers and a few shoes displayed on the window. They make shoe on order. The narrator then narrates one of his meeting with Mr. Gessler. He says it has not been possible to go to him much because the shoes he made have lasted very long and are the best of their kind. One day, the narrator goes to their shop to get a pair of Russian leather shoes. Mr. Gessler retreats upstairs and comes back after some time holding a fine golden Russian leather. After the narrator approval, he says he will get his shoes tomorrow for night. One day, narrator goes to their shop and tell him that the last shoe he got from him creaked. After a long pause, Mr. Gessler asked him to bring the shoes to him. He assures that if he can't repair them, he will give the money back. So one day, he goes to Gessler brother to order a new pair of shoe. When wearing a pair of shoe does not pair of shoes which is brought due to some emergency from a big firm, Mr. Gessler at once recognized that the shoes are not made from him. He touched the particular spot of the narrator's shoes where it is uncomfortable for the narrator. And says that it hurts there. He expresses his contempt that those large firms attack a customer through shiny, impressive advertisement to sell their inferior quality product. The author explains to him under what circumstances he had to buy those shoes. The new shoes lasted nearly 2 years, and in this visit, he receives quite a shock. When he entered the shop, he sees that younger Gessler brother, who informed him of elder brother's death. That day he ordered several pairs. It took longer to make them, but the quality is even better than previous. Soon after, the narrator leaves for abroad and he returned over a year. The first shop he goes is to Mr. Gessler. Mr. Gessler was 75. He was unable to recognize him at first. Narrator gave a huge order. The wait is longer than ever, but the quality only gets better. Unable to recognize, after a week, while passing the little street, the narrator thinks to go in and tell Mr. Gessler that the book are perfect, but when he goes to the place where the shops were the nameplate is no longer. Disturbed, he goes into the shop and a young English face greets him. The narrator inquires about Mr. Gessler, and he comes to know Gessler's death. Upon hearing this, the narrator is quite shocked. The young man explained to him that Gessler died from starvation. He used to devote himself to shoemaking so much that he used to forget about everything. All the money went in the tent and leathers. The fate was quite obvious from the beginning, but both the narrator and the young man agrees that Gessler brother made good quality of boots. Okay, my dear children, so this is the summary. Please read again and again and write in your notebook. Now coming to the question answers of the lesson. So first question, what was the author's opinion about Mr. Gessler as a bootmaker? The author was very impressed with Mr. Gessler. He liked the boots made only on order, and those boots perfectly fitted the customer. Their boots had the best material and lasted long. He found the work mysterious and wonderful. Why did the author visit the shop so frequently? The author visited the shop so frequently because the boots made by Mr. Gessler lasted so long. What was the effect on Mr. Gessler of the author's remark about the certain pair of boots? Mr. Gessler at first found the remark unbelievable. He argued that author might have got them. He was shocked. He told the author that he will repair them or adjust the money in his bill. Okay, next question number 4. What was Mr. Gessler complained against big firm? Mr. Gessler complained that the big firms did not value the money of the customer. They were capturing the market from advertisement and not from the quality of their goods or quality of their work. He was mostly out of work because of those firms, and day by day the volume was getting reduced. Volume means voice. Why did author order so many pairs of boots? Did he really need them? The author felt bad for Mr. Gessler, who was really talented and made great boots. He ordered so many pairs to help Mr. Gessler. No, he did not really need them. Do you think Mr. Gessler was a failure as a bootmaker or as a competitive businessman? Mr. Gessler was successful man as a bootmaker because his customers were immensely satisfied with the boots he made. He perfectly fit them and lasted long. Yes, he was a failure as a competitive businessman. He did not have money like business firms, so couldn't invest on advertisement. He lost his business to them. He took them in delivering his boot because he made alone. He lost his customer because of delay in delivery. He worked hard, striving for long hours because whatever he earned went on paying the rent of his shops and buying leathers. He spent days of great poverty. Next question. What is the significance of the title? To who or to what does it refer? The title refers to the great quality boots of Mr. Gessler's made. It is an ideal earth for the lesson. It refers to the quality. It refers to the quality of the quality for Mr. Gessler. Quality was of optimum significance. He worked for long hours. Didn't allow anyone else to touch his boots. He lost on business, was spending days in poverty. Still, the man did not compromise on quality. Now, coming to the language, children, here some words are there, some phrases are there in red. You will be learning these phrases. And like look after means take care, look down means disapproval, looking into matlab to make a short vision to someone, look out means be careful, look up means improve, and look up to means admire. So now using this look up, look look up to, look out, look into, look in, look down, and look after. So now these words you will be using to fill the your fill in the blanks. Okay, now coming to the next part where you will be doing by so to complete this work. Okay, fill in the blanks and send to me. Okay, my dear children, so here my work is over. So please learn all these things here where we are using the phrases look after, look down, look in, look into, look out, look up, and look up to. Okay, so bye bye and take care. Please complete your work and submit me your work. Okay, thank you so much.